Hi, everyone. It is so good to see you. Welcome to KREM News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti. And we begin by going right outside and right to Thomas Patrick and talking about the weather. Of course, warm weather is certainly in town, and we can see the breeze blowing out there as well. Thomas, what do you know?
Yeah, a more of a refreshing breeze at the moment, but we know that windy weather can lead to high fire danger for the inland northwest. And that is where we find ourselves for today. These winds, though gentle pretty right now, are going to pick up later on today. So we are under red flag warnings. Heightened fire danger for today due to some dry and windy weather that will be present for the rest of the day today. This is all courtesy of a storm system, particularly a cold front that is starting to sweep through the Pacific Northwest. Within the next 12 hours, it is going to clear eastern Washington and North Idaho. And while you do see some rainfall on the western side of the state, there will not be rainfall for eastern Washington. So this will be a dry and windy cold front passage, hence the elevated fire danger and the red flag warnings. At the moment, our winds are about 15 miles per hour, but they have been increasing just slowly and steadily so far this morning, but will continue to pick up to around that 30 or 40 mile per hour wind gust mark by around the evening hours tonight, 8 to 10 o'clock or so. But look at the stark contrast of temperatures across the state. 90 is the expected high here in Spokane. Meanwhile, just 67 in Seattle for today. Now, it's not going to get that cold for tomorrow here, but we will see a noticeable temperature drop between today and tomorrow. We'll cover that extended forecast and that cold front passage in just a couple minutes.
All right, my friend. Of course, as Thomas was talking about, to reiterate, almost the entire inland northwest is under a red flag warning this afternoon. And right now, level 3 go now evacuations are in place for a wildfire burning in central Washington. So if you live in Bickleton, Cleveland area, in Clickitat County, you need to evacuate now. Some new video coming in shows the Newell Road fire, which has grown to more than 50,000 acres. And it began on Friday afternoon, quickly traveling about 20 miles, burning through pastures and wheat fields. The fire also saw significant growth then over the weekend. The Washington State Patrol issued a state fire mobilization for the fire on Friday night. Additional resources will be responding to that fire today. We continue to track fires, keeping an eye on the Tyson fire burning in Benoit County, about 5 miles west of Fernwood. The Idaho Department of Lands says the fire doubled in size over the weekend, burning towards the west. It's now at least 100 acres. At last check, crews had the fire about 10% contained. Another fire we're watching is the Gonzales fire. That's in Pend Oreille County, and that fire has burned more than 450 acres. At this point, about 30% contained. Again, those numbers continue to change, and we're tracking it. According to fire officials, the biggest threat to the fire lines has been falling trees that are carrying all that heat, spreading sparks, and then potentially sparking fires outside the lines that have been drawn. We'll continue to track those fires also happening today. Apex Cannabis in Otis Orchards does plan to reopen today after an early morning burglary forced the store to close yesterday. All right, so we actually have video of the break-in. Take a look at your screen if you're not near the TV right now. Just before 4 o'clock yesterday morning, 3 people used a stolen car to ram their way into the building. You can see again what's going on this video. Police think the 3 are teenagers. They tripped the alarm but managed to run off and escape in a getaway car before Liberty Lake Police and sheriff's deputies got there. They left that stolen car behind.
Once they did get into the store, they didn't have a lot of time to get too much, and they did choose to take some of our lesser expensive items, and very little damage to the building.
And the owners of the shop told KREM 2 it is still too early to figure out the exact amount of property damage. You heard her talking about that and the value of everything that they did steal, but we'll keep you updated. And if you have any information, investigators are asking that you call the number. We've placed it at the bottom of your screen, 456-2233, Spokane County Sheriffs. Also this afternoon, 5 members of the white nationalist group Patriot Front are once again free men. They were released from the Kootenai County Jail yesterday, just days after being found guilty of conspiracy to riot. On Friday, an Idaho judge sentenced the men to 3 days in jail following their conviction. However, judgment against the 5 men will be withheld. In Idaho, that means a defendant's conviction won't appear on any court records once their probation is over. The men must also pay a $1,000 fine and will serve 1 year of unsupervised probation, meaning they're now allowed to return to their home states. Well, it may be the middle of summer, but football is fast approaching. This weekend was the 2023 Big Sky football kickoff. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones went to Northern Quest Casino Resort with the latest now on the Big Sky Conference.
Well, yeah, it's a media day here for the Big Sky Conference, so we're talking everything you know. And some people say that football season may be the best season of the year. I'm not sure if I necessarily, want to partake in that, but I do love football, So, I mean, how exciting is this? And even better than us talking about the Big Sky Conference today, KREM 2 sports team is going to be here as well, talking with all the talented athletes and the head coaches representing this great conference. So that's pretty exciting. You can see Eastern Washington right here behind me. You've got University of Idaho. So those are our two local teams that we want to shout out and we want to give them the praise. But yeah, a lot of great things happening here today. So we want to shout out all the hard work that they're putting in throughout the off season, throughout the entire year, because football is a year-long sport. So to go along with that, yesterday conference officials announced its preseason football offensive and defensive most valuable player titles. One of them, they included U of I's Hayden Haddon. Haddon was a certified threat for the Vandals in 2022, separating himself as not only one of the best wide receivers in the Big Sky, but the entire country. Haddon also caught 83 passes for 1,209 yards and 16 touchdowns, 16 tutties to go with that. Those numbers were good enough to land the receiver on the first team All Big Sky and made him an All-American by numerous outlets, including the Associated Press. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of things to take away from Media Day for the Big Sky, but KREM 2 sports team, you got our sports director, Travis Green, and then a sports anchor and reporter, Andrew Quinn. They'll be here giving you all the coverage that you need to know, and that'll start at 4 p.m. But for now, reporting from Northern Quest, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.